Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Winning Where It Matters. My name is Kyei Amoako, and it's a pleasure to have you here with me again. Last week, I talked about mindset. I mentioned mindset, growth mindset, when I was talking about a an experience of failure that somebody framed as an opportunity for growth. I talked about growth mindset making that person not failure as a verdict, but seeing failure as feedback. As I thought about that episode, I thought, let me just pause and focus a little bit on mindset because I mentioned it and I don't want to assume that every we all have the same understanding about mindset. So I want to spend some time talking about what it is, how it affects our decisions, and share some ideas to consider as you expand or strengthen your mindset. This channel is about mindset, about decisions, and about winning where it matters. And I'm hoping that this explanation will help ground us all in this idea of what it is when you hear people say mindset, mindset. Now, mindset is the set of beliefs that we have about ourselves and about our abilities and about the world around us. It's how we see ourselves and in the context of the world around us. That informs how we make decisions, informs how we interpret situations, it informs how we approach challenges. That is why the same situation can happen to two people, and one person could see it in a totally different light as the other. Because it could be a situation where one person says, why me? Why does this always keep happening to me? And another person experiencing that same situation could say, why did this happen? What can I learn from it? What can I do next? They're experiencing the same situation, but they're choosing different paths just because of how they see the beliefs they have about themselves and their abilities. And that's informing their decisions. And that ultimately will lead to the outcomes that they will experience. Now, mindset is not a fixed thing. I have evolved in my mindset. There's some things that I had to change my beliefs about. There's certain things that I believed about myself that I don't believe anymore. There's some things that I wasn't aware of that I have increased my awareness of, and that's strengthened my mindset about those things. So I want to anchor in this idea that mindset is not fixed. And as you're hearing this, hopefully it's going to inspire you to be more conscious of your mindset about things and work on improving them so that you can win where it matters. Now, there are different things that people usually talk about when they talk about mindset, but I want to focus on two of those. You often will hear about fixed mindset and growth mindset. Fixed mindset is this idea that it is what it is. You you are who you are, and you you are who you are. Whereas growth mindset anchors in this idea that you can grow, you can learn, you can become better, you could continue to evolve. It's you're giving yourself a little bit more room about there's more that you could do. And that idea opens you up to learning new things. It opens you up to what's possible versus just what is. And so I want to encourage for all of us to tune our minds towards more of a growth mindset because it creates possibilities, it creates room for learning, and it creates room for growth. It helps us make decisions that move us forward versus decisions that limit us. Now, as you think about either expanding your mindset, refining your mindset, or strengthening your mindset, I want to share a few things, a few practical things that you should consider that could help you along the way. First thing I want to talk about is being curious. Be curious. Ask why. Seek information. Seek to understand. Seek to learn. Because that exercise of asking why and genuinely being interested in knowing why and being interested in learning creates a certain level of self awareness. You get to see things around you that may need top up, may need refinement, but you become self aware. Not self aware to the point of diminishing, but self aware to the point of seeing what could be. Excuse me. And as you lean into this curiosity that's generating self-awareness, that also gives you the tools to self-regulate. So it gives you an awareness of what you might need to do to make up for what you don't have. So you probably have a habit of, you know, making a lot of typographical mistakes when you write an email. That self-awareness could give you that reminder that, hey, you need to give yourself a little bit of time to write a draft. Give yourself some time to review it before you push it out. That's just one example. But in all areas of your life, when you're applying curiosity, asking why do things happen, what could you be learning from things, it gives you that information that leads to self-awareness, and that self-awareness helps with self-regulation. The second thing I want to talk about, I want to remind you and encourage you to embrace as you're working on your mindset, is to welcome new perspectives. Because when you ask why, you're probably going to find out things that you didn't know. You're probably going to hear things that you may not necessarily like. But being open to those new perspectives could give you different angles to look at the same thing. Because if you keep looking at things from the same perspective, you're going to keep seeing the same things. But when you take a different perspective in looking at things, you may find things that you did not see previously. And that perspective may come from other people. That perspective may come from reading a book. That perspective may come from people who are not like you. And all that happens to help you take another look at the things you believe about yourself, your abilities, and the world around you. And if you stay open to those perspectives, they give you room for you to be able to expand your awareness so you can learn and you can grow. And the third thing that I want to share with you for consideration is applying what you learn, applying the new perspectives that you get, applying those things. Because, quite frankly, if the whole point of asking questions and being curious is just to get information without reflecting on that information, without applying that information, you're not maximizing those opportunities. So, as you get new perspectives, as you get new information, do yourself a favor, reflect and apply. Reflect and apply. Use that information. And as you keep practicing these things, you would realize that your mindset would gradually shift. If it is a fixed one, shift to more of a growth mindset. And if it's in a growth mindset, you will keep strengthening that mindset, because a growth mindset is essential for making decisions, because a growth mindset is empowering. It empowers you. It helps you see what's possible. It helps you lean in when things are difficult. It helps you lean in when you don't get the outcomes that you wanted. It always reminds you that there's more ahead. And quite frankly, there is definitely more ahead than is behind. So, growth mindset right there. Purpose of this episode was to highlight what mindset is, how it affects our decisions, and then I shared some suggestions for your consideration as you expand, refine, or strengthen your mindset. I hope this was beneficial. If it was, please like this video, and I encourage you to share with other people. I hope other people get the benefit of these conversations that we're having, so please share it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And if you would like to connect outside of here, go to kyeamoako.com and there'll be information there about how we could connect. Thank you for being here. I believe in you, and I hope you do too. I will see you on the next one.